Everyone thought the Bugatti situation ended with the Chiron, but somehow it's happening all over again. And this time, it might be even worse. At first glance, everything looks completely normal. Mat Armstrong brings in a damaged Bugatti Veyron, rolls it into the garage, and starts breaking it down piece by piece, just like every other rebuild we've seen on the channel. A rough car at the start, slowly turning into something special through patience, planning, and pure skill. Find the faults, list the parts, repair the car. That's the routine. It's a system that usually works perfectly for him. A repeatable formula that has brought countless cars back from the edge. But this is a Bugatti. And nothing about this one stays simple for long. Because with a machine like this, even the smallest issue can spiral into something massive. And once you start digging deeper, everything gets more complicated than expected. And before we go further, if you're into these deep rebuild stories, make sure you hit subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications, because this one just keeps escalating the deeper it goes, and you'll want to see how it unfolds. Now back to the Veyron. Mat properly inspects the car, and almost immediately, the problems start revealing themselves. And not small issues either. Serious faults that tell you this car hasn't been properly cared for in a long time. Mechanical problems, worn out components, missing pieces. The kind of issues that don't just disappear with a quick fix. The kind that need planning, patience, and a long list of parts. And the more he goes through it, the clearer it becomes. This isn't a simple turnaround job. This is a full-scale rebuild challenge. But here's where it gets interesting. Mat doesn't panic. He doesn't rush into anything. Instead, he does what he always does. He slows everything down and builds a clear plan, step by step. He starts compiling a full breakdown of everything the car needs. Service parts, mechanical components, interior trims, even something as rare as a replacement speed key. Every item gets listed. Every detail matters. Because in theory, once you know what you need, you just order the parts and get to work. Simple, right? That's how most builds go. That's how it should work. But not this time. Because this is where everything starts to shift. And if you remember what happened with the Chiron rebuild, you probably already feel where this is going. Mat reaches out directly to Bugatti. The goal is simple. Get official parts, do everything properly, and keep the build moving the right way. No guessing, no shortcuts, just factory support. But the moment that call goes out, everything changes. The first dealership doesn't even respond, completely silent, and that alone is strange. We're talking about one of the most exclusive car brands on the planet, and there's not even a reply. So he tries again, another dealership, another chance. And this time, someone finally picks up. For a moment, it feels like progress. Like maybe this is where things finally line up. But then comes the line that flips everything upside down. They say they won't sell the parts, unless the car is brought to them, and they carry out the work themselves. And just like that, the whole rebuild changes direction. Pause for a second and think about what that really means. This isn't about stock. This isn't about pricing. This isn't even about timing. This is control. You don't just buy parts. You don't just fix your own car. You don't even take components away. If you want access, the car stays with them. Everything goes through their system, and this is where it starts getting serious. Because this is exactly the same concern people had after the Chiron situation. Back then, it felt like maybe it was just caution. Maybe it was safety rules. Maybe it was a one-off scenario. But now, with the Veyron in the picture, it starts looking like something more consistent. A structure. A pattern. Mat sees it instantly. Because if the car goes to Bugatti, the entire project is out of his hands. They decide what gets fixed. They decide how it gets fixed. And they decide the final cost. And that cost is already known to be serious. A basic service alone is around $20,000, and that's before anything major even begins. Now stack that with everything this Veyron actually needs. Mechanical repairs, missing parts, diagnostics, rare items like the speed key. It doesn't take long for the numbers to grow. And the worst part? There's no clear limit, but the real issue goes deeper than money. This car has to be fixed. It can't just sit there. So now Mat is stuck in a position no builder wants. Two choices. Hand it over to Bugatti and accept total control loss, or keep it in-house and take the entire rebuild on himself. And that second option, it's not simple, because this isn't a normal car. Every system is complex, every component is specialized, everything is engineered to work within strict parameters. Even basic servicing involves multiple systems working together: gearbox pressure, cooling systems, electronics, fluid management. One mistake can cause major problems. And then there's the speed key. Not just any key. This is what unlocks the Veyron's full performance. Without it, the car doesn't reach its top speed. And right now, it's missing. Replacing it isn't easy either. It needs coding, verification, and direct dealership involvement, which means yet another layer of dependency, another system lock, another restriction. So at this point, even access to performance is controlled externally. And that changes everything. Because the rebuild isn't just about fixing damage anymore. It's about independence. It's about control. It's about whether this kind of project can even exist outside the manufacturer system. And instead of stepping back, Mat pushes forward. He keeps the car in his garage. He starts breaking down problems himself, looking for solutions, finding alternatives, working around limitations, using experience instead of official support. It's not easy. It's not clean, but it's the only way to stay in control. And that's what makes this situation so intense. Because this isn't just a Veyron rebuild anymore. It's a test. A battle between independent builders and manufacturer control. And if Bugatti is taking the same approach with both the Chiron and the Veyron, then the bigger question starts forming. Is this the future of hypercars? Locked systems? Dealer-only repairs? Owners with cars they can't fully repair themselves? Those questions are no longer theoretical. They're happening now. And Mat's build is right in the middle of it. Every decision matters. Every workaround matters. Every part he sources outside the system pushes the project forward or adds more risk. And that pressure never stops building. Because one mistake on a car like this doesn't just slow things down. It costs money. It creates setbacks. It changes everything. But that's exactly why people are watching. Because this isn't just a rebuild. It's a challenge against a system designed to stay in control. And if he pulls it off, it proves something big. That even without manufacturer support, even under restrictions, even with locked systems, a build like this can still be done. But if it fails, then the system wins. And that's where all the tension sits right now. Not just fixing a Bugatti, but proving whether it can be done outside the rules. So, if you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Because if this is what it takes just to get parts for a Veyron, then what happens next in this rebuild might be even bigger than everything we've seen so far.